That's some dollar signs. Little gradual decline. Hey.
Shout him out. Shout out to
Hey, shout out to Eastside TK. My brother. That's a little intro song he made for us called Prolific.
Nice.
Prolific, little bitch. I see dollar signs.
Yeah.
Hey. Cheers, my brother. Lil hey.
Like Big Sean said, Lil B.
Lil B. Like Too Short.
Mm-hmm.
Too Short's favorite word.
Prolific podcast. Episode what? Episode 7. Yeah, I was asking though.
Oh. Prolific what? Prolific what? Like prolific? Like what?
Episode 7, Prolific Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Podcast.
Yours truly, Berto on the mic.
Boy, Will, Café con Leche, Studios.
We're really rocking
live and direct.
We're really rocking with that. I like that. A lot of good feedback. A lot of funny feedback, which is what we enjoy. You know, we're all jokes.
We like a good time.
We're clowns, but we all like jokes.
We're clowns, but get shit popping.
Get it popping. This is not really sponsored by Grey Goose Cup, but we're drinking Herradura tequila
with a little bit of chinola, aka passion fruit,
aka maracuya,
aka a little splash of roux in here,
a little splash of the lime,
a little limon.
A little limon can't go wrong.
Just tastes really good. We drank this at the beach like what, a week or two ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Flash's birthday. Shout out to my family. Getting mad shout outs.
Yeah.
At the start.
My boy.
Yeah.
But
Anywho.
What do we got from today, bro?
We got some exciting things today, guys. Nah.
Oh, can I first
go for it.
And that's why I did it. That's why I did it this specific way. You know, a lot of people have noticed that I am impulsive with some of the shit that I say, and I cut off Berto a lot. I am not a disrespectful person by any stretch of the means. I honestly do it, I think, subconsciously because I have a terrible memory, and if I don't get what I want to say out quickly, then
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's done. It goes into the archive, and I'm not getting it back.
And then something else comes up.
And then something else comes up, and I'm just like, wait.
You're like, hold on. I gotta get it out.
So it's not me cutting off because I want to be heard, like, over, fucking shadowing him, but it's just sometimes I'm like, fuck, if I don't say it right now, I'm gonna lose it.
I feel the tension from across the table.
Like, I got like that vein in my neck. I was like sitting here like, oh.
Like that white boy from that meme?
Yeah. That ass, 100%. That's literally how I feel on the inside. Maybe I'm not showing it, but that is the reason. But that's another thing I need to work on. The swearing I pipe down, but I'm not gonna do it too much. So go bleep yourself. But other than that, I definitely gonna try not.
It's all good, man.
Being impulsive.
You gotta
just know it's not disrespectful. It's not.
I know that, but shout out to our viewers.
Yeah,
they don't know. They're always like, that guy is always cutting you off. I'm like, nah, it's just, it's just passion, man. It's passion. Passion.
But the thing is, like, in real life, I'm a very quiet person. I'm a man of few words. If I'm with, like, the boys, I'm like, halajando and shit, I'm definitely the one that likes to joke around the most. Mm-hmm. But if I'm in a big room of people, I'm the one that speaks the least. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think it's just, with certain topics, the drinks help too, obviously, but I feel like sometimes I just have to get the shit out and whatever.
I feel you, my brother.
Not to be the dead horse. I'm a piece of shit, obviously. Thank you.
Clearly, our podcasts are becoming like what do you call that shit? Like an intervention?
like a fucking witch hunt.
Like every episode, like, all right, so this episode, your boy Will is doing this. I need you to address on the next episode.
Okay, so Will, just sit down, please. We all love you. We love the podcast, but man, come on. Like, you need to work on this. I'm just like, fuck.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. We're here. Prolific.
I am who I am.
Prolific. Herradura.
SMD.
Chinola. SIS too.
If anyone knows what SMD is, then just SMD.
Or EAD. Whichever one you prefer.
I want to say EAD, but not a lot of people really like say it like that, so I just say SMD. I usually say EAD, but anyway.
Gotcha.
What are we talking about today, G?
Man, we got a couple things for one. I wanted to bring out the obvious. We talked about it earlier.
The big news.
So what's happening with Nike? Right, and not with Nike. We just
a little prick.
The VP. So let me read this to you guys, a quick little snippet. So Nike announces Ann Hebert, VP and GM North America, has departed the company. Why is that, Roberto? Let me tell you. Reported this week that Joe Hebert, her son, of Nike, Vice President and General Manager of North America, Ann Hebert, so Ann Hebert, the mom, Joe Hebert, the son, used her credit card to purchase sneakers for his resale company, West Coast Streetwear. Nike said Ann Hebert disclosed relevant information to Nike. So basically, the little fuckface was
We're gonna call him Joseph, not Joe.
We're gonna call him Joe. We're gonna call him Joe Schmel.
Yeah.
He was using his mom's discount credit card, taking advantage that she's a VP of Nike, and purchasing all of these sneakers that we wait patiently for at 10 a.m. on the sneakers app.
People getting
to take L's.
My biggest thing of that for me, how the frick do you rack up what you said, 150K?
From what I saw, it was 155K worth of sneakers.
And that goes unnoticed by your mother. If I spent like $12, $7 on my mom's card, she'd be like, what did you buy?
I have an answer for you.
What?
It's probably sarcastic, but it's some truth behind it. When you make that much fucking money, you don't look at your card, at your account, and most likely that's probably a business account, which is probably even worse. It's probably a lot more money there. So yes, it's a joke a little bit, but there's some truth behind it too.
Yeah, but I feel like she wasn't totally in the dark. I feel like she probably was just like, yeah, go ahead.
Of course.
You know.
Now, what do you think of, like, here's a messed up part about it, right? And we're gonna go into the topics of just like raising children. I guess that's what was on the schedule for today. Raising children,
fucking
badass kids, right? They just all these badass
kids.
What pisses me off about that is how she was just released, right?
Very soft.
So it's not even. We were talking about it earlier. And we were joking about it. Shout out to Rob, because Rob. Oh, you're in the chat. So you know.
Yeah, I'm in the chat.
Yeah, you never say anything, but you're in the chat.
I'm a ghost follower. I'm just a dude just sitting there in the dark, just like.
So we're talking about it, and it's true. Rob was like, man, if that would have been one of us, you know, minorities, blacks. Yeah. We would have gotten the same day that this was released to the public. The same day we would have gotten dragged out from Nike headquarters, beaten outside, then handcuffed, then going to jail. Probably would have seen the judge the same day, just how quick shit happens. But this lady just stepped down from VP and Nike.
Very quiet.
That's going to be the slap on her wrist.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you think there's any truth to that?
Depending on how much pull she has, obviously the company's going to be like, bro, we're Nike. We don't really need you. Like, who the fuck are you? You're a VP. Cool. Go fuck yourself. Or there's millions of people that want to fill that position.
Yeah.
There's two. It's either they were just like, okay, listen, you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, your son fucked up and you shouldn't have let that happen. We'll let you go quietly, just resign. You know what I mean? Or unless she wants to make it ugly for you.
Yeah. Because it's going to blow up.
Because it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can make it blow up if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe not so because they don't want all that publicity, but any publicity is good publicity. You know what I mean? But shit like that, it's like now you're fucking with people that really want to get these shoes and sneakerheads, and you know they're going crazy because they didn't get it. Who knows if some guy in fucking West Virginia wanted to get the Jordans and didn't get it? He gets pissed off. He goes into a convenience store or something, steps on his foot, and he shoots him and kills him because he's pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But it was either that, I think, or maybe it was just like, go quietly. We'll give you your nice little severance. You know, maybe you didn't know, maybe you did know, maybe we all knew. Who the fuck knows? But it's like, just go. Here's some money on the side. Until you find out something else, just go. We'll slap on the wrist. Everything's cool. We love you. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Fuck your son.
Yeah, fuck your son. Fucking Joseph.
And not because he was spending the money, but because now he put Nike in the front line.
Yeah.
Mind you, Nike's not gonna go anywhere.
No.
You know, like first.
That's what I'm saying. Like for a company like that, no publicity is bad essentially because like it's just giving them more, and it's like it's fucking Nike.
But it's crazy though because all like throughout the whole pandemic, right? Like they're still releasing sneakers, obviously. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm a sneakerhead because I'm not a sneakerhead anymore. I still collect sneakers that I like, mainly Jordans, mainly just comfortable shit, right? But in the entire 2020, I wasn't able to purchase one fucking pair of sneakers on the sneakers app, which is very rare. You know what I mean? Because the sneakers app, have you used that app before? No. So sneakers app is basically like any Jordan that drops, you can't go to the sneaker store or Finish Line.
Like anymore?
Anymore. That was vetted like, I don't know, say like 6-7 years ago. Like Jordan doesn't, yes, bro. Exclusive Jordans, not none of the freaking Team Jordans. I'm talking about like the original
like the Jordan 26s.
Yeah, like that doesn't even exist. Like the Jordan 26.5, like that. No, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like OGs, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, whatever.
So none of those sneakers come out in like
stores,
Foot Locker or nothing.
They do, but it's all through apps. So that's why you don't see. So back in my days when I first started collecting sneakers, you would have to go to a store, make a line the night before.
Yeah.
Outside the mall,
fight somebody.
Oh no, potentially stab somebody. Have a mattress or an air, you know what I mean? Like that was the setup back then. So I guess that blew up too much where it was a chaos, especially like Chicago, New York, like the bigger cities,
New York,
especially New York, right? So they created everything's gonna be now on apps. So like you'll see sneaker stores that have like Uptowns and like Nikes and stuff like that, but Jordans, good luck. Yeezys? Tell me if you've ever seen a pair of Yeezys in the store.
I honestly, bro, I haven't bought Jordans. I haven't bought Yeezys. Jordans. I never even owned Yeezys, but I haven't bought Jordans in years, bro. So I had no.
Us too. Well, me too. You know, because we've all been in line behind the Heber family. So it's like, but honestly, I just found it weird that the whole.
Damn, it's funny you say that.
What?
I saw some shit on Twitter, but I didn't get the joke. It was like,
oh, so you're standing in line behind the Heber family.
Yeah.
That's what it. So all the shoes usually drop at 10 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
Like when it's a release, right? So what we do is every fiend like myself puts in an order for $9.59, and then you click on the sneakers app and it drops literally exactly at 10, right? So you click on your size, click purchase, whatever. As soon as you click that, it doesn't mean that you're getting the shoe. It says you're in line.
Yeah. That's
what it's supposed to say. So I saw the meme today too that says you're in line, and then it says behind the Heber family.
I didn't know her name was Heber. Like now you told me her name was
Heber. Now it's making sense. Yeah.
And I was like, someone posted. I was like, what does that mean? Everyone's like, yo, this shit's crazy. I was like, what's crazy about that?
Yeah. So that's basically the kind of like So yeah, it's been a rough year for the sneaker community, and now we kind of see why for 2020.
But how is he getting like first access though? Like,
because there's bots.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bot that a lot of people have now where you click. And my boy Adonis has one too. So it's like you click on certain. It's like you click at a certain time for a certain amount of pairs, and the bot will automatically act like a person purchasing them, but you got the drop on it. So it's like basically the bot beats every person that clicks on a phone. It's like some scheme it's not a scheme, but it's like some way that the system gets to all the shoes that are released before like the public can kind of get the drop on it. So whatever, a lot of people have bots. That's how shit sells out within 15 minutes, which is fucking ridiculous. Because if you're making thousands of pairs, you're gonna tell me that if I'm trying to purchase here at 10 a.m. and somebody in fucking Oregon is trying to purchase at 7 a.m., they're all gonna just sell out thousands of pairs, 25, 30, thousands of pairs of sneakers. You know what I mean? Like, there's not that many sneakerheads in the world. So now we know it was clearly fucking Joe Schmo from
Joe Dirt.
So that solved a lot of the shit, but it kind of goes to what we want to talk about today, just having like fucking kids that they just do a lot of dumb shit.
Now, do you think that I gotta work on my posture, Jesus Christ.
Where's my squat belt?
Yeah, where's my waist
trainer?
Waist trainer for those who don't speak Spanish. Now, do you think that is like when you see kids like that, do you think automatically it's the parents or it's the child's like their circle of friends and shit like that? Like, do you think that is who to blame, or is it the parents more?
I think it's the parents, because the parents is the people that allow the things to happen. So a child can do something, right? But if a parent doesn't correct it, the child is gonna think nothing is wrong. So that goes to like disrespect, telling your parents, no, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it kind of starts.
Yeah, but do you think that, like, say your daughters, for instance, like, you tell them, oh, they're gonna go to Stephanie's house or some shit like that. Stephanie seems like a cool girl, she seems like a nice girl, but deep down she's a little dot or something like that. And like, you don't know that. But your daughters are hanging out with her, and then they start to kind of, you know, get affected by that, and they start acting like that. Like, who is, like, when you see that on somebody else, like, who do you think is to blame? Like, because sometimes the people that they chill with, they seem like little angels.
Yeah.
Until they, you know, oh, hey, bye, see you. And then they fucking turn into little demons.
Yeah, I mean, we all did that. I left my parents, I left my house in the morning with my freaking shirt tucked in, and the minute I got off that, not even off the bus, getting on the bus, I was like, nah, I gotta tuck my shirt out, my pants gotta be sagging, so I get it. But
do-rag on.
the whole thing. You know, women do too, you know, like, I remember my fiance saying the same thing, like, she would leave her house with like jeans on, and under her jeans were like freaking coochie cutters ready for the club, but she wouldn't let her parents see that. But she'd be like, oh, hey, I'm going to the library, and she's really going to fucking DB or Boulevard. You know what I mean? So, like...
It's like library at 9 p.m.?
Like, yes, Mom, I have a midterm. I'm like, okay.
It's like, that's like the fourth midterm this month.
But to answer your question, I don't think... I can't blame the influencer. You know what I mean? My job as a parent is to correct the follower. So if my children are following something, which they're going to, there's TikTok, there's a whole bunch of shit that people follow, right? The kids follow. If I catch on to it, that's another thing. That's something I became good at. It's like just hiding it from my parents, right? If I get to the point of catching it, then it's just my job to correct it. I don't care. I can't blame or try to figure out where'd you get it from. I think that's the dumbest question ever, because you'll never get the answer from your children.
I mean, obviously with this, it's like, I can only be very limited with my opinions because I don't have kids, but I feel like if you're open with your kids and like they don't feel like afraid that they can be truthful with you, you know what I mean? Where it's like you're almost like their friend, but they still know that you're their parent. You know what I mean? Like there is a fucking fine line.
Respect on my name.
You know, put some spec. You know, RESPEK.
K, capital K.
Capital fucking
like
K.
the K from like Special K.
Backwards K. Like, so, you know, they can feel like, all right, like I can tell my dad about this shit, or I can tell my dad I'm gonna go to a party or something like that. Like I feel like, you know, when the time comes, I'm going to try. You know what I mean? Who's to say that you fucking try and the kid still ends up, you know, because there are people that are good parents and the kids, you know, get influenced and they turn into fucking pieces of shit. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like with that, it's kind of like, it's hard because, you know, the parents are to blame, but it's also, you know, I don't know. I think that if you teach your kid like to not be a follower, then it's like you have a lesser chance of that happening where it's like, oh, my friend's gonna go fucking do heroin, so yeah, fuck, I'm just gonna go with them and do it. But it's like if you teach them to be like, no, like if you don't wanna fucking do that shit, if you wanna go and read that night, like go fucking read. You know what I mean? Like go ahead and they'll do it. I don't know.
It's tough, man, because I drive myself crazy with this shit all the time because I like being in control, right? Like that's my thing. Like I can't let go. I can't have a happy medium of like the uncontrollables. I try to control. I'm not controlling. I just try to be in control. Is that the same shit? Does that make sense?
Yes, because controlling like some bum ass baby mothers I've seen in the past. I don't even get to. He was itchy. You saw that? Yo, I gotta check the head bob. He was like, let me crack the back. Shout out to Zach. I'll see you soon. But let's get to it. You gotta get the little head bob, like bum ass baby mom. That I've seen in the past, you know, within friends and within family and other things and shit like that. It's like, I lost my track. See?
Fucking hate I do that.
What were we talking about?
I don't know, you just went into bum ass baby moms. I don't know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
There goes that.
I told you.
But nah. So
this is why, people. This is why.
You know
like I have to say what I have to say.
But you were talking. I wasn't.
Yeah, I know. But I had it in my head like for a little bit. I was just holding it, And
we said the joke.
It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But this is why I fucking hate doing that shit.
It's all good.
I freaking hate doing it. I'm sorry. Sorry for swearing.
We'll keep it going.
What the frick?
Alright, so growing up, right? Especially us guys. I'll give you an example of how my parents couldn't really control me, and instead of kind of guiding me, they just kind of let go off the wall, right? So my parents split when I was 12. My sister was 15. It was right after my sister's king says. The only thing my dad told me was, I'm leaving, you're the man of the house, right? I don't give a fuck that man at 12 years old. Like, I didn't even have hair on my balls at 12 years old. Like, I went to puberty madly. So I was like, okay, I'm the man of the house, but I'm still sharing a room with my sister. What the fuck is this? What kind of setup is this? Anyways.
Quick question. Did you have bunk beds or single beds?
I had bunk beds, and then I don't know about me. I think every Dominican has bunk beds at one point in their life.
Red, like, fire truck red bunk beds.
And back then, it was the metal ones.
Yeah.
Like, now they got the wood and poplar ones.
Like, shit were metal.
Metal, and I don't know how I didn't fucking, because we used to wrestle and shit. This is like back in Stone Cold. And
like, tombstone off the top ropes, right? We would take the bottom mattress and put it on the floor, and then we would fight on the top, and it would be like, Stone Cold Stunner off the top.
Oh my god. And then when you're in the bottom bunk and you're using the rails to like swing and fucking Rey Mysterio kick the shit out of somebody.
Bro.
But anyways, so when my parents split and my father was like, yo, you're the man of the house, I didn't know what the hell that meant. But in my head, he just told me, you're on your own, you run this shit. This is what I understood. You run this shit at 12, right? So my mother couldn't stop me. That's when I got bad. Like, I was a bad child at 12 years old. I was always good. Like, not that I was always good, right? Like, I was in bad shit, but not to the point of like disrespectful. Like, my mother can't tell me shit. I'm living with my mother and my sister. So that's what I mean by like, just if my mother would have been able to understand why I was so confused and just try to guide me, you know, instead of being like, because I was into everything. I was into tagging walls, breaking into houses when I was in middle school, skipping school. Like, I was in all the shit that we're not supposed to. You know what I mean?
Now, it just came back to me what I was trying to say earlier about the controlling and you were saying that it's a difference between being controlling or liking to have control. I think there is a big difference because having control, that means that, like, of yourself, that is different than like being controlling, because then you're trying to control others around you to comply with what you feel is right. You know, and when you have control of yourself, you're good. Like, I know I am in my safe space. I feel comfortable. I can maneuver. But when you're controlling a controlling person, you're trying to control all of the influences around you to just be with what the fuck you think is right, and that's not right because everyone's different. But going off of what you were just saying, do you think there were outside factors that made you turn into that? Because you and I are very similar in the sense, like, you were 12, I was 7 when I had to become the man of the house. And my perspective was like, I have to take care of my family and I can't leave their side because I am the man of the house. And it made me almost more, I don't say compliant, but it was just like, I am here now. Like, this is what I have to do. This is my job. Like, I have to take care of my mom and my brother. So I didn't go out. Like, I didn't go out. I didn't do shit. Like, it was just like, I have to be with them physically there,
present,
24/7 to make sure that everything is okay. At 7 years old, you know what I mean? It's kind of fucking trippy.
Are you even in first grade? Yeah, first grade.
Kindergarten was 5. So yeah, first grade.
Depending on what happened, between first and second.
So, what do you think made you, I'm not going to say rebel, but it's just like, okay, I'm the man of the house, so now you can't tell me shit.
Well, I think for one, my age played a huge difference. So now that you're saying that you were 7, 12, it's middle school. And
you have more of like a mature, like not mature, but you have more of your own
awareness. Yeah, and you're just aware a lot more of this shit. And again, it's like, I went to, if schools were getting graded back then, my Ruben Dario, if anybody from Miami is listening, Ruben Dario Middle School was an F- school. At the time, I didn't know what that meant. To me, school was just like school, right? Like, I see people going to school on Saved by the Bell, which is a show I watch. I see Fresh Prince, like every show that I watched, school's your school, right? I didn't know about academics. At 12 years old, I wasn't thinking about that shit. So my school's like, it's very hood. Like, academics is nothing. I was getting D's and C's and I thought that was popping. You know, I was like, oh, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Genius.
I didn't know what a B was. I was like, what's that B shit? I got a C.
That's for nerds.
Like, I'm here. So I think the age played a huge influence because at that age, I had a lot of people older than me already in my surroundings. So I was a sixth grader, but I was hanging out with a dude that used to live in my block. His name was Dennis. They used to it was my sister's age. He was an 8th grader. So I was a 6th grader, he was an 8th grader. And like, he was doing all the bad shit. like he had his bike, he had his little dyno with the pegs. So I was like, damn, man, I want to get a dyno with the pegs. And obviously, my mom was trying to pay, I think at that time it was like $400, $500. She was like, we're gonna go to Walmart and get you this Nemesis. I'm like, I don't want fucking Nemesis, I want a dyno.
It was either dyno or
Mongoose, yeah. And both were expensive.
You had a Mongoose, you were that.
You were that, yeah.
You were that boy.
Yeah, so I had to settle for the Nemesis because she was like, yeah, I got 100. I got 125 if you give me until next week. Whatever. So, but Dennis was like, at the time, I guess my role model kind of thing. Like, he was like remember, I don't have any siblings. I only have my sister here, right? So, my friends were my brothers and my boys. But like it started with the people that I grew up with. So like Carl, Carl was always there. Me and Carl grew up in the same block since we were 8. But I only have friends that were doing bad shit. So it's like, they have a little gang. Oh shit, I'm part of the little gang. Or they're gonna go jump somebody because they call beef. Or I gotta go jump somebody because it was just that. So that was going on when my parents split. So there was no guidance. My thing was just like, nah, like, these boys got my back, like they're trying to teach me something new, like they're trying to teach me how to tag, like they gave me the street name. I was like, all right, cool. Where do I get that?
Like, beat money.
Like now, where do I? But I think that that played a huge part in what because
the thing is, I find that, and not to cut you off.
Oh, I was done.
He was done, everybody.
You're good.
Take it easy. Fucking, like, sacrificing Christ here. But, fuck, dude.
God damn it, Will. I stopped talking. I didn't say shit.
Yeah, no.
Nah, you gotta.
No, it's just like, like you said, like, the guidance, it's like, I don't know. Yo, I literally have a fucking, like, the memory of a goldfish.
We gotta stop drinking before we start.
Nah, bro, it's not even that. It's just, I do it all the time. Like, that's why I'm so impulsive when I have to say things, because it's like, if I don't say it, I'm going to forget.
Yeah, but this is by far the worst.
It is.
You lost, like, you forgot.
Like, I have Alzheimer's right now. Like, legit Alzheimer's.
Well, whatever. Anyway, so
rolling on.
These fucking badass kids, right? So I was considered a badass kid. I know my reasons why I've been.
Did you ever get locked up as a kid?
As a kid, no. I got handcuffs, but I didn't get. It was one of those like, oh, you can call your parents right now and they pick up, you're good. I was like, God damn it, mom, pick up.
I had that.
And I always had, well, a lot of kids won't know about this nowadays, but I always had like $1 or 50 cents in my pocket to call from a payphone because there's no cell phones.
You didn't know that struggle back then,
bro. So
and if they don't pick up, you lose that.
You're done. But you gotta learn the trick. You gotta hang up before the answering machine comes up. So like I knew my house phone, it would ring. I think it was about 7 times before like that little stupid answering machine came up. So I let it ring. I know the first one doesn't really count. So like the first 4 ring was the second one. So like and like right when I hear and hear, if I don't hear like somebody about to talk, I was like.
You just brought back a memory because I forgot all about that. Like, if you did it before the answer machine, you would get your money.
You'll get your money back because technically it's not considered a full dial. Yeah. Because somebody didn't pick whatever. But yeah, so I was never. But man, I got in trouble so many times. And again, it's like I didn't snap out of that until I moved to Kendall, because Kendall was like the complete opposite. It was like fucking preppy ass people. I was like, I was so like culture shocked, I guess, that I didn't go to school for 2 weeks. Like, my mother transferred me, right? I went to Coral Park Senior High School. And then she transferred me to Miami Sunset Senior High School. Preppiest school ever. First of all, I've never been to a school that doesn't have any windows. This shit look like a prison. So I get there. I think we talked about this before. I get there. Everybody's wearing like a double polo, right? Like with their collar.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, where I come from, double collar means you a gangster, so you gotta put that shit down because I'm about to test your jaw right now. But it was like double polo, extra small shirt with like, I don't know what type of jeans and some Pumas. And here I pull up with a 3XT with a do-rag and some Air Force. So I'm like, oh my God. So whatever, culture shock. But that's when I started realizing like just all the bad shit that I was doing it wasn't necessary because the group of friends that I was around now come sophomore year. Yeah, I transferred sophomore year. It was a completely different type of influence. So they'll still do bad shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to TC. That's my crew, you know. Always holding it down. But it wasn't as bad. It wasn't to like the point of like I've seen niggas getting stabbed and shit and jumped in front of me. And they were like, if you jump in, you're gonna get it too. You know, like so it was just two different type of, you know, so yeah, so I kind of cleared up in high school, but in middle school it was pretty bad, man. It was just like, you kind of just go with you wake up every morning, you just go with the flow. I feel like the shit was like a movie to me, honestly. Like,
see, like, I don't know, man, like, becoming the man at 7, I mean, my mom did a good job at like, not sheltering me, but just kind of like,
keeping it together, yeah.
Keeping it together, you know, and it was rough. But I never had like where I was like, I need to be in the street. I was always like, I need to be there to take care of them because they need me. Maybe that's a personality thing. Maybe it's not like anything having to do with like my upbringing or I don't know, past experience. Maybe it's just that's who I am. You know, I need to cater or I need to take care of these people that I care about because I am all that they have. At 7 fucking years old, you know what I mean? Like, who thinks about shit like that? But, I don't know. Like, I've always been intrigued. That's what I wanted to say. See what I'm talking about? I literally...
Say it before you forget.
So, it's like... What... I almost forgot it again. I almost forgot it again. But it's like, what causes people to do certain things, you know what I mean? Like I've said before, where I can go through where like my parents got, you know, divorced or whatever, and I'm like, all right, man, that fucking sucks. Like I really wish that didn't happen, but like, you know, I have to deal with what I have to deal with. And then there's other people that like their parents get divorced and they feel like they have to go kill somebody. Like, where does that? What causes that huge difference and gap? You know what I mean? Like where one person can be okay with it, not okay, but they're just like, all right, I'm gonna deal with this. And then someone else is gonna go to the extreme and be like, I have to go murder a bunch of people because I'm sad that my parents got divorced.
I think it's really age, honestly. Because think about it, we just compared our examples, and mine was 12, which is like the beginning of a crucial stage. I think our crucial stages that we agreed on was like high school. Like if shit happens at high school, you're very aware of surroundings, friends, bad influences, good. Middle school is kind of like you're starting to kind of realize it, right? But bro, you at 7, like I was fucking watching Barney at 7. Like I was watching Power Rangers. Like there was, if my pops were to just leave, I would do the same thing. I would just be home because I'll be like, what else am I gonna do? My pops is not here physically, you know what I mean? So like, I think it's really just age. When that happens, like, will kind of determine where you kind of go from there naturally, because where else is the influence going to come from?
I mean, I guess I was just like immature enough in the sense like I didn't have experience to know what other options I had.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like had I been a little bit older, I can be like, okay, well, you know, I gotta take care of my family, but now I have freedom to go do something else.
Yeah.
It was kind of like I was young enough to be like almost controlled still, where it's like,
I mean, 7 years old.
Stay home and like take care of us, learn how to clean because my mom had to work.
Yeah, but not cook.
Did you learn how to cook?
Yeah.
At 7?
Like little like eggs and shit like that.
I was gonna say the basics.
You know, for like my little brother.
Yeah.
Doing laundry, like mopping the floors, and it's funny because like to this day my mom talks about like me being that age that she never seen a kid. Like I would take the chairs from the kitchen table and put them up on the table and like fold them upside down.
Plastic on the bottom.
some shit's gonna get fucked up because I'm gonna have to eat. And then I would like sweep the floor and mop it while she was at work. And when she would come home, like the floors would be clean. And it's like, I would do all that, take care of my brother, and like do our homework, and like get washed up and go like be ready for bed by the time she got home from work. And it's like at that age, it's like,
How do you even know?
how do you even think to be able to be like, oh, let me go clean the floors?
Like, we don't see that in movies.
As a kid, you're just like, I just want to play. Like,
Yeah.
dirty the house, actually. I want to fucking throw my toys all over the place. And I don't know why I was like that. I don't have no idea. Like, it was just, it just became what it was.
I think my answer is pretty on point because, again, it's
But the thing is that my mom never told me to do any of that.
But you at 7 years old, like you
But
said,
that's the
all you
thing,
know.
at 7 years old, if you tell a kid at 7 years old, go clean that. It's like, okay, they eventually start to go clean it. But my mom never told me, while I'm at work, clean the house. Like,
you
she never told me.
just did it on your own.
I just started doing it.
To help.
To help her because I didn't want her to come home from work
And then shit is
and then everything has to be on her. It was always just like, I need to do my part because I am the man of the house.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it, then she's gonna have to do it, and she has already all this other shit that she's to worry about. So to have that thought process as a kid, to me right now it doesn't bother me. Like it's just who I am. But like, had I not had that thought process, and I'm looking at somebody else, I'm like, how the fuck are you thinking about that at that age? Like to me it's normal. So for me to think of it as a weird thing is like taboo right now. It's just who I am.
Let me ask you a question, right? Before I forget this question.
Hey.
Because I know I was thinking about it. Wait, one more. You said one more bar. I was like, I don't forget this shit.
Good.
So I think everything comes from something. Like when people say like, oh, I'm feeling something, I don't know why. It's bullshit. Like dig deep, sit down, sit down in a room and like it comes from something, right? So I think. So my question to you is, do you think at 7 years old, do you think that you just maybe saw your dad would do that in the house? Would your mom do that in the house while she was home?
Yeah, my mom was always cleaning. My dad was the money maker. You know what I mean?
But that's what it is.
Macho Dominican. You know what I mean? Like woman cooks and shit like that. But my dad is a clean person.
Yeah.
You know, maybe being, you know what I mean, in the school, like he likes to call it.
Yeah.
AKA locked up. Maybe that's where he learned it. I don't know, because at that age I was too young to know. But my dad was never a dirty dude. Like he didn't like leave shit all over the place. So maybe subconsciously I saw that.
I think that's what it is. I think it's.
But like I said, bro, I was never told. You know what I mean? It was just like clean.
Yeah.
Just my mom's not home. Let me learn how to do laundry, or let me mop the floors and clean so that when she comes home, she doesn't have to do anything.
But you know what the funny part is that, and I will say this because my kids are they've taught me a lot of what I used to do when I was younger, but I didn't realize it until now that I have kids, right? Kids' brains are fucking sponges, right? Oh, they just pick and choose what they want to remember, but they observe every fucking thing. So even though it was at 7, I think that subconsciously you were observing how your mom cooked, how your mom cleaned, how clean your dad was while he was there. So like it just came natural because you saw it without thinking about it as a kid. You know what I mean? I think that's the answer. You know what I mean? And again, it's just my opinion, but I'm seeing it from the outside. You know what I mean? I know mine was like I told you, it was like, yeah, I could see my mom cooking and cleaning, but my interpretation of like my parents splitting, it was like, it's a war. And now my dad is pushing me to my mom's side, right? This might sound stupid, but I think this was my thought process at 12. It was like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, my dad is leaving. Mind you, he didn't leave the state, like, I'm gonna move like 5 minutes away. Like, it wasn't like...
It's like, I live next door.
I was like, why am I still seeing you every day? You're just like, what is the point of all this? What is all this pressure you're giving me?
Bro, I see you at Publix.
Where you're still bringing you McDonald's after school, like, 39 cent hamburgers. People will never know about this shit.
Anyways, so, I think it's like, my whole thing was like, I saw that and it was like, okay, it's war. It's not like, oh, I need to be the man and help. No, it's like, I need to be the guy that I kind of saw, which was never home, always quote unquote working, right? And then come back, you pay the bills, the food be ready. You see, so I saw the complete opposite. Like, I didn't think like, oh yeah, I gotta not provide. Like, first of all, my sister's older than me.
So I was like, if anybody got provided, go to work. Te toca. Like, my,
I'm the baby.
Yeah. But, yo, I lost it. To me, I lost it. And I think that played a huge influence on why I was so bad in my teenage years.
Now, did your parents ever like make you, or not make you, but influence you to choose sides? Like where it's like, for instance, like where your mom would be like, tú sabes que tu papá nunca te ha hecho nada, whatever, or your father, vice versa, type shit.
Okay, so to answer your question, they never made me choose sides, but now, looking back, they definitely talk shit about each other.
Oh.
And I didn't know, like, because you know how those Dominican moms, like, oh, everything is all igualito tu pai, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, but my dad always played cool. Like, yo, like, you know, take care of your mom, and, you know, why is your mom calling me, telling me not throwing out the garbage, a little shit, I told you I'd be the man of the house. So it was a lot of confusion for me, especially having an older sister. Like, to me, like, my sister, she was on lockdown. Like, when my parents split, my mother didn't let her do a goddamn thing. Because, you know, she was older, she was in her 15, 16, developed very quick, whatever. And, you know, here I'm just trying to figure shit out. So I felt alone a lot of times, but it was like, I didn't know where to go. Because it's like, I hang out with my dad tells me to protect my mom. But then I hang out with my mom talks shit about my dad. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro? I just want to go play, like, basketball. Somebody take me. Like, that's, like, I don't...
Someone buy me a ball. I'm gonna rob somebody.
Yo, that was annoying. That was annoying. Yeah. I was like, if you guys don't buy me this fucking basketball,
I'm
going to the park, and I'm going to take somebody else's shit. And I'm going to probably take their bike, too, because I had to walk to the park. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where my mind was at. It was like, I think that's where, like, the whole, like, hustle mentality came into it, without really hustling drugs. Like, just hustle in the sense of, like, if I don't got it, I got to go get it. Right? I think that's where it all originated from. But yeah, man, my parents back and forth. They were to this day, honestly.
My mom, trust me.
That shit was like,
when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, forget about it. If I say hi to my dad, it's like, oh, well, you're always kissing his ass, and it's like vice versa. It's like, oh, well, you know, your mom. It's like, bro, I have nothing. That's between y'all. You know what I mean? And they get heated when I say that. Like, listen,
it's a real Dominican.
Oh, but your father, this and that. Like, you take that up with him.
Honestly,
your mother,
it's a real.
take it up with
it's
her.
a real. I want to say Hispanic because I don't know how Cubans and Puerto Ricans do, but I know like overall, it's a real Dominican thing, man. Like, and it sucks, you know, because it puts a child such in a bad position to like think when we don't really know what's going on. Like, I didn't really. Yeah. My parents split the day after my sister's quinces, and you know, Dominican quinces is lit. So I was like, what do you mean you leave? Like, I don't understand that. Even at 12 years old, you know what I mean? But it's something that shouldn't happen, and it happens so often, and I think that's what causes a lot of trauma with kids growing up, and that's what they refer to the streets, or just like friends versus family or uncles and shit, because it's so much influence that it's like they kind of guide you, man.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, also, like your parents being like, oh, your father or your mother, it's like it makes you confused, and then you feel almost scared, like you don't feel comfortable saying something because you don't know
what side is it going.
Exactly, you don't know if you say something, then I'm like, oh, well, that's because you're saying it because your father or because your mother, and you're like, fuck, I'm not gonna say shit, so I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
And I learned that through that. Like, I learned how to keep not secrets, but I learned. So, for example, right, you know how everything we go through, you know, grows you. I said that before. So while I was going through that, I learned how to, okay, you gotta pick your battles and what you kind of say to people, right? So like I learned what to and not to say to my mom, because I started figuring out how many things I would say and how every opportunity she would take to talk shit about my dad, and vice versa, right? Because then later on I figured out, like later on figured out about my dad, like what the fuck was cheating? Like, okay, my dad, like, you definitely I have a 2-month-old, I have a sister that's 2 months older than me. Like, explain that, sir. 2 months? Like,
it's like, yeah, but you know what happened? Like, I busted a nut and it ricocheted off your mom.
Yeah, like, so it's like, you know, and again, it's just both sides. They go at it, and you try to protect your mom. I was with my mom, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I gave my mom a headache, because she brought the first dude after their breakup. And he was Puerto Rican, not for nothing. I mean, you know, shout out to my Puerto Ricans now. I'm not, but back then, I was like, dude came in the crib, and I was like,
eyebrows lit.
I was like, big ass nose, some dude that he was in the army. My sister knows it. My sister watches this shit, you know, Nelson. Fuck, his name was Nelson. Fuck, please. Anyway, so
And it's like, that was the first dude that my mom dated after this whole breakup. And I remember my mom was, like, I remember I'll give my mom hell. I'd just be there, we'd walk, like, eating dinner, and I'd just be like, this, like, dead, like, with a dead face, like, you're not
So
my
how
dad.
was school? You're like,
You're not my daddy. Every answer was like, oh, so Norbert. I'm like, don't call me Norbert. My dad calls me Norbert. Pussy.
so Berto, don't call me Berto.
Nah. And then my mom one day broke down and she's like, oh, you're not letting me live. Or your dad did this or that. And I'm still confused. You know, I'm just trying to be the man, right? And that's, again, this is like, in my head, I was like, I was the man. And like,
To protect her.
I gave her hell, bro. And then after a while, I was just like, man, both of y'all did shit, man. Like, I don't want to be part of none of this. And that's when I learned how to just started to disconnect myself. Because I was
What
just
age?
fucking confused. That I disconnected?
Yeah.
15. So I went 3 years of confusion, of just going back and forth and not knowing who to believe. But then at 15, when I started driving, my parents started, so fun story, quick story. My parents tried to make it work again when I turned 15. So my sister already moved back to New York. She was done with Miami. Like, I was 15, I was living with my mom, and we had like a 3-bedroom townhouse. No, I'm sorry, my sister was there. But whatever, point is that my mom and dad,
Right.
yeah, niggas relax. Don't.
Yeah, we had like a 3-bedroom walk.
Yeah, 3-bedroom fucking 500 square foot place. ain't no flexing this shit with big ass frogs. Anyways,
So my sister moved back to New York, and then my parents tried to make it work again, which is fucking weird. I was like, bro, I haven't seen you in my house for 3 years.
Pops.
Whatever. So, damn, I forgot where I was going with that. God damn it.
Damn.
What were we talking about?
I'm rubbing off on you, I guess. I mean, we were talking about like,
Jesus Christ.
come on, bro, you one of those guys?
I mean, you always gotta.
Like, yo, cheers. All right, yo, no homo. Like, what?
No, that's irrelevant. Anyways, so I remember, I think my parents tried to make it work.
At 15 years old, your sister had been back in New York.
Oh, yeah. So at 15, I got my permits.
So you were a cornball and shit.
Yeah, so I was a cornball with a 4XT,
Hey.
Mad Air Forces, hats, 50. That was a 50 Cent era, bro. That was in the club with many.
Did you ever have a pair of G units?
I did.
Yeah. The white. The original was a white gray with the.
I forgot to answer that question like in the last episode when you were saying like what pair of sneakers you bought for the culture of those.
Yeah,
those
I had those. I had to save up.
Like that was, I mean, besides Air Forces, G units were the first sneakers I bought that like the culture influenced me to buy them.
Yeah. He had a big. Those and the S. Scott Carters from Jay-Z. Those were like big sneakers that were coming from, you know, somebody else is not a basketball player. But whatever. So to answer your question. So at 15, I got my driving permit, and my dad had this Toyota Camry on like little 16-inch rims and like whatever. So when I started driving,
Is when I started realizing who was really telling the truth.
because my parents were trying to make it work together, so they were both in the same house. I would see my fucking, I'm not gonna expose my mom like that, but I would just see mad shit, and I would just be like, now it's clicking. Like 15, I was what? A sophomore, yeah, because I was already kind of. So I was like, my dad would tell me to go drop him off so I could stay with his car, because he worked from 5:30 in the warehouse, so 5:30 a.m. to 6, very easy. High school here was from 7:30 to 2:30. So I'm like, yo, let me stay with the whip, like, I'll take it to work. And he would let me always drive with a permit. But then, like, what would happen is I would pick him up after school, and then he'd be like, yo, you can't drop me off here. I'm like, nigga, you're not coming home? Like, mom's about to cook. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, because I'm still, like, my daughters are 15.
Yeah.
But my 15 and their 15, they're seeing two different worlds.
Yeah.
So my 15 was like,
What do you mean, drop? I was like, whatever. I mean, just kind of brushing it off. But he was already with. But then he'll come, you're like, oh, where you gonna go? And I'm like, I'm going to my boy's house. He's like, all right, come pick me up before. And then he'd be like, yo, I was with you tonight.
that's when I learned about, yo, I was with you. If anybody asks.
Alibis.
Alibis. So that's when I started kind of like, you know what? Both of you are fucked up.
And I don't want no parts. And my sister was gone, so like, I had no cell phone at 15. Like, there were still house phones. So I was just like, that. And that, again, just resulted back to like, and that's why I think I have like just so many friends, you know, because I resulted to that so much when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
I didn't, honestly, bro, like, you learned quick. I mean, I didn't really brush myself off of my mom and dad's bullshit up until, like, a few years ago.
Yeah?
Where I was like, yo, I have taken this shit for 20-something odd years, you motherfuckers figure that shit out. And at first, it was like the biggest disrespect. Yo soy un material. I was raised right.
Yeah, I went through all that.
And you're doing that because you don't want to disrespect your mother or you don't want to disrespect your father. And it's like, no, I just don't want to do with none of y'all bullshit. Like, I am on my own path. I have my own problems. You motherfuckers figure out your problems.
Yeah.
You guys both have some type of vendetta against each other. Y'all motherfuckers deal with that shit. Don't keep pulling. You pulled me into that shit so many years because I was a kid and I didn't know any better. And it's sad to say it took me this long to be like, fuck y'all. Like, y'all figure that shit out. But now I've gotten to that point, and now there's no going back. So even like now, like if I even hear like, but you're fucked. I'll talk to you later. Click. Because bro, that shit's toxic as fuck. That shit's toxic.
And if people wonder why I can be so easy to cut people off, I cut off. My cutoff game started with my parents. So who the hell? If I can do this with my parents,
who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? Like, are you here? That's what I'm saying. And again, it's just from upbringing, from being bad, seeing bad shit from your own household, right? You see bad shit growing up in your household. You go outside and you do bad shit because you just don't know any better, right? And then it's just like, after a while, you're just like, fuck all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta keep it moving. But yeah, I was very influenced, but like I said, I think Kendall saved my life, honestly. Because if I would have stayed in Core Park.
Yeah, I think us moving to Connecticut saved. Because if I stayed in Providence, I don't know where I would have.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would have transitioned.
And what's worse? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. What's worse? Because I know I can remember this.
No, I don't even know. I mean, like, just fucking robots and shit. I know had I stayed in Providence, going to high school and all that shit over there, it would have been very easy for me in the situation that we were in, my pops being locked up and all that other shit, for me to just be like, okay, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah, so you're a lot more vulnerable to just anything.
And the thing is that, like, how well known, you know what I mean, my father was, it could have been very easy to just be like, I'm Fulano's son, what's good, I want to get in, type shit. Thankfully I didn't, and I think us moving away was a big factor in that, you know. But
and just piggybacking off of that, I say that even though I moving to Kendall changed my life completely, because before that, every spring break, every summer, any school break, my mom sent me to New York. And what's in New York? At the time, her sister, which is where a majority of my cousins are, they lived in fucking East New York, which is, it's like hood on steroids, right? And I don't mean like hood like Carol City hood or Overtown. I mean like back in, this is like early 2000s, like there were still legit gangs, right? My cousin that I stayed with,
not like Tekashi 6ix9ine gangs.
Not like that shit, right? Like real fucking gangs. Like you couldn't wear a certain color, type shit.
Yeah.
That shit, like people, like that shit. Some people don't know what that is.
Bro. Now I can go out and wear a red shirt and just be like, I'm wearing a Boston Red Sox shirt. Like back then, it's like, yo, it's a Boston Red Sox shirt. Nah, I don't give a fuck. Like,
take that shit off. Like, so again, back to the influences. Like, when I was going through that from 12 to 15, right? My mom would always send us away. Like everything was just sending you away. I don't know what the fuck. I've never sent my kids away. Like I don't believe in that shit. My mom would send us to DR to my grandmother's house for 3 months. I'd be like, what the fuck, mom? Like I don't want to be here. But when I go to my cousin's house in New York, they lived in Coney Island at one point, right? And my uncle, shout out to my uncle Chino, like he's one of like real shit, like not even like, he's just one of the hardest like OGs in Brooklyn, right? Like I'll never forget pulling up one time, we're in a minivan, he used to work at a school, pulling up one time, be like, yo, pull over real quick, this thing owes me money. And he just took out a knife, like, yo, what's up? I'll be like, damn, man. So like, going from my house, then I'm seeing all this shit with my parents, and I'm trying to figure out my own shit with my own friends. Then I get sent away for like a summer or spring break or something, then I see that.
it's like I don't have no other option but to just follow it and keep doing bad shit. Like, I got crowned by a Latin king. A lot of people don't even know what that means. Like, some kid was like, not some kid, some dude that was a Latin king. He was cool with my cousin's boyfriend that was a Latin king. Shout out to Steph, my cousin. Her man, I don't forget his name. I won't even say it because she's fucking grown with the kids and married. Like, that's just stupid. It's
fucking divorce.
Yeah, it's like bringing, no, she's married but with kids. But it's stupid to bring up a dude's name. But whatever, my sister knows who we're talking about. So we would be in Coney Island doing a bunch of shit we're not supposed to do. Again, while I'm supposed to be doing something to take me away from the bullshit I'm doing here. And like, there was real gang shit. Like, yo, when I'm telling you that the thing said, yo, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and crown you, I didn't know what the fuck that was, and I was scared shitless. And crown you is like, it's like giving you like, yo, like I'm like,
you're like an honorable brother almost.
Like, I'm a Latin king and I'm gonna give you my flag, you know, because they don't call it bandanas, it's a flag. He gave me a fucking yellow flag, a yellow bandana, he wrote his shit. His name was Cisco. I'll never forget this shit. His name was Cisco. And he's like, yo, you wear that shit in Miami, you get respect anywhere you go. I'm like, nigga, I am not wearing, in my head, I'm like, I'm not wearing this shit. I don't know what, he was walking around with a bow leg and like, you know, white dude too. He said, well, you live in Miami? Yeah, I used to live in Miami, bro. But like, all that shit is, again, is influence. Just going back to where the fuck we're even going with that, because I think we zoned out. We both zoned out.
I gotta take a piss.
Nah, we're not doing that right now. I'm just gonna.
We're at an hour.
All right, so let's just wrap it up. Let's
wrap it up.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll let you wrap it up.
Damn. So clearly, Will can have no more Herradura. My boys over here. Jesus Christ! Well, I'll cheers to myself. Will just stepped away to take a piss, like a little niñito. I'm gonna just make a little porta potty here in the office. But I will give you guys my 2 cents while he goes and takes his piss or whatever. Wow, you hear that shit in the background. This shit is crazy. You're gonna have to edit this shit out, bro. Badass. Damn it, I wanted to talk about Benzino shit, but whatever. We won't even talk about that. But I think you just gotta watch how you approach a lot of things. You never really know what headspace your kids are in. Just to kind of touch on it really quick, because Benzino's fucking like 60 years old and this shit is stupid. Like, this nigga's like relevant. He was relevant like 30 years ago and he's over here beefing with his daughter. So apparently, right? He's going through some shit with his daughter where his daughter made a song or something and called her dad a bum ass nigga or some shit like that. So to Benzino's case, he was like, my daughter had everything. I was an artist, I would fly her out to Miami. She was in the best school, she had the best cars, you know, I provided as a father, right? That was his case. And here she is on her live, literally talking shit about her father. And I'm just thinking like, damn, like, first of all, it's 2021. Why the hell people go to IG and social media for so much shit? It's just so stupid. But it's like, I get it for the little kids. We talked about clout and the culture in the last episode, right? I get that. Now, I don't agree, but I get it. Benzino, I'm not even joking. He's got to be at least 55. I'm not joking. Like, he's got to be 50 to 55. I'm 34. And Benzino, I was rocking to Benzino's fucking chilling within the like I don't know the fucking name of the songs, but he had a couple hits when I was like 12. So I'm like, if I'm 34, that was 20, whatever. But why are you beefing with your child and taking it to social, like, publicly? First of all, nobody cares. Yeah. Let's just start off there. I'm tired of seeing World Star reposts. I'm tired of seeing fucking Vlad TV, like all this shit. I get it, whatever. That's what they do. Like but why are you beefing with your child as a grown ass man? And why is your child have the audacity to call you a bum ass nigga and go to IG about it? You know what I mean? Like, that's a badass kid. That's a badass fucking kid. I don't care if she's 20 something years old. She's not a little kid. She's 20 something years old.
Was she raised with the mother or the father?
I think she was raised with the mother. Yeah, because he said I will fly her out every Christmas and blah, blah, blah. So the
mom probably fucking, brainwashed her. I mean, I'm not saying that's the case, but
it's majority.
I know there's a lot of bum-ass baby mamas that would do some shit like that.
And honestly, guys, if anybody out there has any kids and they're dealing with issues like that, like, your best bet, from my personal opinion, your best bet is just try to build the best relationship you can with your child. fuck whatever happened with like the baby mother or the baby father. I'm not gonna be biased. Baby mother or baby father, whichever side. Just try to cope with it. You know what I mean?
But and to cut you off, don't you think it's more? Do you think it is more often that a baby mother trashes the father than the father trashes the mother?
I've seen it more often that it's the baby mother trashing the baby father because majority of the times the father moves on faster because 90% of the time the baby mother has the custody, right?
Yeah.
So the father is able to continue his life, right? And just kind of like do his own thing, go out whenever he wants and all that stuff. So like the minute the baby mother sees the father with another girl, it's like when the switch happens.
Yeah.
Which I get. You know what I mean? Like I get it. You know, women are emotional, you know, so they're gonna be salty. Guys can just fucking keep it moving, whatever, you know, like it didn't work out, it'll work out. But I have seen it a lot more because of that situation. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like I've seen it because it's usually the trend. Like you break up, the girl stays with the baby, you know, or her mom's house, or wherever it is at. But majority of the time she's with the custody, so she kind of has to kind of pump her brakes on her life. Or if you're like these fucking crazy ass Bronx baby moms where they go out regardless.
Yeah, the babies literally.
The babies are grandmothers. You know what I'm saying? And that's different.
Yo, I saw a meme one time that was like this old ass lady. She's like in the bed, like putting her hands out. She's like on like life support, and there's like this chick dressed as a thought. Like she's like short skirt, like booty shorts or some shit, and she was like, "Ma, can you still watch Jalen or some shit like that?"
I'm about to go out to La Marina real quick.
Mom thinks it's like she's like literally like she can't even speak. It's just like, Mom, can you still watch Jalen this weekend? Like, you know, you want to go out that bad.
I mean, I'll comment on it because I went through it, but I also have my daughters at 18. So it's like, I would have my daughters, like when me and their mother split, I would have them on my days off, which was like Wednesday, Thursday at the time. But even Wednesday, Thursday, I would go out. I mean, I was 20 years old when I was 22 when we split. They were like 4. I was 22 years old and they were 4 already. But you know, I would do at least the most responsible thing that I can do. But like, yo, like I'm gonna go out, but like we're gonna eat dinner, like we're gonna put them to bed, I'm gonna watch something with them, and then like when they fall asleep at 11:30, I'll go out and my mom would just watch them like in the house. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's right, but I'm also not saying it's wrong. I'm just 22 years old. But there are a lot of people that it could be a fucking newborn. And it'd be like from the minute they're I mean,
Mom, you have milk in your system?
Hold on, let me go pump before. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of. There's always going to be an option. There's always going to be opinions on what the right thing to do is, what the wrong thing to do is. But everybody has different situations. I had a very unfortunate situation. You know, I had the kids very young, so I needed to still live my life in a way that I felt fulfilled because I felt so like just trapped and confused and lost at 18 years old with 2 kids, you know. But you know, I'm not gonna justify it.
Hey man, that was the path that was written for you.
Yeah, that's the path that was written for me, and you know, it motivated me. You know, and it got me to where I'm at the end of the day, honestly. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. I mean,
James should wrap it up,
yeah.
Take us home. I don't want to cut you off.
Nah. If you want, I'll take us home.
Yeah, all right. Take us home.
Take us home as in I'll go last.
Oh, okay. All right. See, that's the thing. That's what happened last time. I got confused. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I think I said my piece. It's just, you know, I'm still on the fence. I don't know, you know, who is to blame with certain shit like that. But it's like, I feel like nowadays there's so much influence, you know, internet, IG, fucking Twitter and all this shit. So it's like, and I don't have kids, so I really don't have a fucking say, you know, who the fuck am I? But, you know, hopefully when that day comes, I can do a good job, you know. I feel like a defeated stepdad. Like, you look right now like you're hurting. I was like, you know, the kid hates me and I do everything I can and, you know.
Fucking Billy doesn't want anything to do with me.
You know, I fucking cook him dinner every night and he still says I'm not his father. So all that money I spent for college was for nothing.
Fucking Maury. Nah, I mean, Look, man, I don't think we went off topic. We elaborated a lot, but just overall, like just bad kids, right? Like bad kids and kids doing a lot of dumb shit. I think a lot of it ties into a lot of kids are just confused. So my 2 cents on everything is just try to figure out what the issue is and try to just talk to your kids like a friend. You know, try to influence your kids in a way that they can have that confidence to talk to you about things. And trust me, it'll prevent a lot of things happening for them in their childhood. Or even when they're adults, because even adult kids do a lot of dumb shit, don't baby them, just talk to them like adults. It doesn't matter what age they are. Like kids are a lot smarter than we think. Their brains are sponges, and trust me, they could if you could tell them, hey, we're in Orlando in 23 months, they'll be like, hey, I'm going to Orlando. You know what I mean? Like, so, my take on it is just some kids are bad because they just don't know what other option they have. They don't know what other option. If you need to discipline them, discipline doesn't always mean beating their ass. I've never touched my daughters, and my daughters are fucking straight line.
I got my ass beat.
I got my shit split a couple times.
Like not even belt. Like I'm talking like punch.
And for my dad, my mom was funny because my mom would just throw shit at me and I just dodge it and laugh.
See, the thing is, that's you got blessed. My mom was the aggressor. My mom used to beat the shit out of us, and my dad rarely did, but when he did, it was like a brutal beat out.
Like the ones that you're like,
no,
you can't even yell because you're like, I should.
Or like your skin is on fire, like for fucking half an hour after you get jabbed.
Yo, this is a quick story, and we gotta wrap it up. My dad, one time, I almost lit a fucking hospital on fire. My dad was sawing some shit in the closet. I think he was customizing shelves. And he sawed his hand off, whatever. Fast forward, we ended up going to Baptist Hospital. And I used to get paper clips, and I used to open them and put them in the fucking outlet. So we're in the emergency room, and I'm like, and I'm here with my sister, and she was like, and I was like, and I plugged the shit in, and it goes, yo, I just looked to the side, and I just see my dad like this with his fucking finger. He's like, he didn't even say, I'm gonna kill you. In my head, he said, I'm gonna kill you. But he was just like, and he gave me that look, and I was like, when you just sit up, because you have nothing else to do, I was like, oh, and then my sister just cracking up. I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yo, when I got home, this nigga threw me. Our first computer was a Gateway. I don't know if you ever heard of a Gateway or something. Yo, and I landed on it. I hit the. It's just like, stay there, and I was like,
bro. Alright, so I'm gonna have a quick story just to rebuttal yours.
Yeah.
I remember when we were kids, this is before my dad got locked up. We went to the store and I wanted a toy. My mom didn't get it for me, so I was pissed. And we used to have a green Ford minivan. And we get to the house and my mom leaves the car and I'm talking to my brother. I'm like, oh, she didn't get us a toy. I hate mommy. I wish she was dead. I was some psycho shit.
What age was this?
I was before my dad got locked up, so I had to be like 5 maybe. Yeah. So I was just super heated. And my brother gets out the car, leaves.
Your brother's like 1?
No, he's 3 years younger, so he was like 2 or 3, maybe depending on how old I was 5 or 6 maybe. And I just remember, I'm like, why did he leave the car? So he goes, this nigga snitched on me. So he goes and tells my dad, and I said that. And like, I'm just sitting in the car because my mom went inside to get something so that we would leave. And I'm just sitting in the car and I just see my dad come around the corner of the house, like with his belt in his hand. I'm like, why does he have his belt in his hand? Like as a kid, I'm like, I mean, I didn't do anything, so like, why do you have his belt in his hand? And he just walking towards me. Yo, he yanked me out the car, and he beat me from the driveway. We used to live on the second floor of this apartment house. He beat me from the driveway upstairs into the apartment. And what he did was he grabbed both my hands together and grabbed my wrist with one hand and picked me up. And he used to have this belt it had metal bullets on it. It was a design. It was like literally metal bullets around the whole thing. Just picked me up off the air and just hitting me. And I'm like trying to go with the hit, like
Shakira and shit.
I was fucking belly dancing and shit. Yo. He beat my ass, and he was like, don't you ever, and to that day, I was like, I never said that shit again. I was like, I didn't even know what I was saying as a kid. I was just like pissed I didn't get a toy.
It was the same thing. We're gonna keep talking shit, but it's the same thing, the same way that I said my first curse word. And it was at my dad's softball game. I said bingo for the first time, right? And it was around my aunt. It wasn't even around my parents.
Fucking cute.
I know, right? But I would go to my dad's softball games every Tuesday, Thursday. Niggas play softball every day. And they always be like, coño, bingo, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, okay, let me just be the cool guy. I'm like walking with my friends.
So, we'll go to my dad's softball game, but we'll go and do all the other shit. Climb trees and fucking play Manhunt.
And I'm passing by the dugout, and this thing says it. I'm like, man, fuck, man, bingo. Yo, my aunt,
Jackie heard it.
oh my God, she never hit me, but she always used to grab my ears and pinch it with her long nails. She'd be like, come here, come. I already knew when I saw this, like,
That,
I was like, yeah, like
that grit of the teeth.
the teeth. I'm like, she's like, ¿qué te dije? I'm like, oh shit. And now I look to my friend like, yo, what did I say? And he was like, I don't know what you said. I was like, she's like, what did you say right now? I was like,
she's like, tell me what you said. I was like, bingo. And she was like, do you know what that means?
mind you, the whole time she's holding my ear. My shit is dead ass bleeding right now, gushing blood. And I was like, no. And I just started busting out crying like a little bitch. I was like, fuck this. I've never seen this shit because I just heard it repeated. Like we're not supposed to.
Like I'm not part of this thug life. Yeah. But anyways, sorry, we went off crazy talking.
We went way past what we were expecting to talk about.
Okay, it's gonna be part of our episodes, and we don't care.
So hey man, take it away.
I already did. I already said my piece.
Well then shit. We're done, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Episode number 7, man.
Episode number 7. You guys take care. Be safe.
Catch us always on the next episode.
Peace.